Welcome everyone to episode 24 of the official GeekSpeak podcast. I'm your host Sean, and joined as always is my co-host Josh, Raymond fan, Rudy Rudolph. This is the podcast where we watch movies, make movies, play games, and more. What else can you ask for? And this week we're joined by a wonderful guest, Justin, or known as on TikTok as FreddiesRoommate. Justin has amassed over 100,000 followers for his love of pop culture, and we are thrilled to have you on the show today, Justin. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Usually in the podcast, we go through a different Disney Channel original movie, or DCOM for short, and we'll see how the biggest media company on earth, Disney, caters towards solely children with like a large sample size. This week, because we have a guest, we'll do it next week instead. And that movie will be called Miracle in Lane 2. It's not a sequel. Very bizarre. Justin, if you could introduce yourself a little bit and talk about what you do, that'd be great.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Justin. I'm on TikTok. I'm a video producer. I talk about a bunch of stuff, nerd stuff. I talk about X-Men lately. I do fashion videos. I'm kind of a grab bag of all kinds of things. But yeah, I'm happy to be here.
But I appreciate you being here. We have a lot of news to cover about the past 5 days worth of news, which has been already a lot. It'll be fun to talk about. I think I first found your channel when on TikTok when you were getting fashion advice, I think. From people online.
That was years ago. Not years ago, but that was a couple of minutes ago now.
Yeah, and then I also enjoyed your Star Wars lightsaber transitions, and I kept following since then. I'm like, that's cool. And then I love your pop culture. Yeah, I love your pop culture content in general, especially that Stranger Things stuff. Always fun to love the show as well. We did our last episode. 2 episodes ago. We talked about Stranger Things season 4 as well as Thor: Love and Thunder, and the episode of Fours was a fun time. So first news piece on the docket is about Natalie Holt. This is a sad news about Batgirl. She recently tweeted out that she had written about an hour and a half worth of score for Batgirl, and that's just she's an amazing composer. She worked on Loki, which I love the score of Loki. She worked on Kenobi show. You've watched Kenobi, right, Justin?
Yes, I have. I've watched Kenobi.
I'm the one person in the world who hasn't yet, but I know Josh loves the idea of the Kenobi show, right?
I have a lot of thoughts about Kenobi. Overall, I liked it, but the music, like all Star Wars, is very, very good, and she's a great composer.
Did you not like Kenobi?
I didn't hate it. Hold on. I have mixed feelings on it. There's a lot that I like and a lot that I'm like, this could have worked better if it was like a film trilogy or like a film, essentially.
Why is that?
It's just it was too short and there was too much, I guess, filler in a sense. But overall, I liked it. And I liked the general story structure of it. And of course, the final episode was just was great.
And what parts were filler, if you don't mind me asking?
So kind of I'm trying to think of specifics because
I didn't hear your Kenobi opinion, so I'm getting this fresh. Sorry.
I kind of felt like that it had a good start, but it took a bit to really get going, essentially, and it didn't feel like that it really got going till closer towards the end.
He's not a fan of the 6-episode model that Disney has.
No, I'm not a fan.
Yeah,
I'm not.
You know why they have the 6 episodes, right?
I don't think I've actually heard the specifics as to why.
Because there's 4 weeks in a month.
Yeah, it's because it can roll over the next month.
It rolls over. You get 2 for the person 1. That's literally all it is. There's no special sauce to it. You get 2 months worth of subscriptions, and then by the time the second month comes around, you just gotta wait for a week for a new show.
And to clarify, Josh and I are both general Star Wars lovers of the franchise as a whole. My favorite Star Wars film is The Last Jedi, which is an interesting opinion to have online. I've gotten interesting comments about saying that. I love Last Jedi. I love Force Awakens. I love Empire. I love the original trilogy. I think Revenge of the Sith is really fun. Can't talk today. I overall enjoy Star Wars. I know you've done a lot of Star Wars content yourself. Do you have a favorite Star Wars movie?
A favorite Star Wars movie?
Is that too hard a question to ask?
No, it's just. I mean,
this is also judgment free here.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. If I of all time favorite, it's gonna be Revenge of the Sith. because I'm a millennial. I grew up with prequels. You know what I mean?
I understand.
I reckon that, and a close number 2, and depending on the day, probably number 1 is The Last Jedi. But like when I walked out of the theater, I was like, that was a pretty good Star Wars movie. And then
the internet disagreed.
Okay, so here's the thing. Have you ever? That's a siren. But you ever don't have a strong opinion until someone shits on it?
Yep.
It's like, water's pretty good. It's pretty healthy. Someone's like, actually, Gatorade's better for you. And I'm like, I mean, water's good. You could swim in it. You can't swim in Gatorade. And I'm like, well, actually, I'm like, water though. God, it's water. It's not that deep. And then next thing you know, like you're a H2O supporter, you know, of all the gear.
Absolutely. So this Natalie Holt news overall, if we kept getting back to that, tragic news. Generally on the podcast, we say yay or nay if you're a first-time listener, or if you're Justin here. We say yay or nay because all of film and all of life is subjective, and there's no like good or bad in most things. It's just what you enjoy. I'm giving this a yay. I'm going to say a nay, very heavy nay. This is a movie as a whole. The canceling of it is still. We did a whole last episode about DC's mess and what's happening, but I really wanted to see this movie, and this is even more tragic. Hearing it was an hour and a half of her score already made.
I give it a nay. This is all stupid. Everything that Warner Brothers has been doing for the past 2 weeks now has been completely stupid.
It's been interesting for sure.
Yay.
Justin likes chaos, it looks like.
No. Oh, do I have to give a reason? Okay.
No, you don't have to.
No. Okay. I don't think I've had an opportunity to talk about Batgirl in a deep way. Batgirl, having a Batgirl movie starring Leslie Grace, thumbs up. Having a Batgirl movie that has the Jim Gordon from the Spiderverse, okay. Having a Batgirl Michael Keaton, but the Jim okay. Oh wait, it's not supported by any comic books at all? Oh, okay. All right, we're not okay. It's a no. All right, no, we're not doing it. No, thank you.
Honestly, fair enough.
I gotta be honest. I gotta be honest with you. I've been wanting to reboot for years.
Yep, me too.
Reboot. I'm sorry that it happened the day that it happened, but we're gonna reboot it all. Not only are we rebooting, like cutting Batgirl, cut Wonder Woman, cut Aquaman, cut it all. Like cut off the arm, like when you get a zombie bite. No more Snyderverse, no more ties, no nothing, no Peacemaker. We're not doing it anymore. I'm sad that the axe fell on Batgirl because Leslie Grace and the team didn't deserve that. But we needed to cut somewhere. We needed to cut it all, you know?
I'm generally the opinion that I think if a film or TV show is finished, let it be released. The hard work people put into that, I want to see put out there. But once these are all out, let it be done, and then say we're taking a break for like 5 years.
This is why I'm not a CEO. I would have stopped everything. I'm like, you know what? We're done. We're done.
No more.
No, Zaslav is nicer than me. I would have walked to the set myself. Like, oh, you're doing what now? Excuse me. Dwayne. That's what your name is. Yes, I'm the Black Adam. You're what now? What? Okay, Dwayne. I have your CV. Are you Egyptian at all? Nah, but I'm the Rock, bro. Cut it. Shut it down. Shut it. Oh, a Hawk Man? A Wonder Twin? Shut it out. Shut it all down. We're done. This never should have been approved. You like, oh, I'm gonna protect the Rock's ruthlessness or the Black Adam's ruthlessness. What the fuck are you talking about? In this world, everyone takes people out. Aquaman kills people. Wonder Woman kills people. There was a whole movie where Wonder Woman was trying to kill the God of War. Do you not remember this? You're gonna act like, oh, I'm Black Adam. I punch planes out of the sky. Literally, that happens at the end of Man of Steel. Literally, like he punches the plane out of the sky. So what are we doing here? What are we doing, Dwayne?
You know, the hierarchy of power in DC is about to change.
Fuck that's what. Are we allowed to curse on this?
Yes. Yes.
Fuck this. What do you mean hierarchy of power? Oh, what are you gonna do, Black Adam? Like he's ever been in any important? God damn. Sorry.
I love that you asked after you did it.
Whatever. Bleep me. Bleep me. No, it
She-Hulk,
just makes no sense. It makes no
She-Hulk
sense.
came out. We got the first episode of the She-Hulk show. Have you all watched this yet?
I did.
Yes.
Very fun overall, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yay for She-Hulk. And of course, we're getting a ton of toxic people online trashing even 1-star reviews before they even saw it. The internet. But I loved it, and I loved that they did a Tinder campaign, which was so funny to me.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, they had a Tinder profile for She-Hulk. You could swipe left or right. If you matched, it would promoted the show to you. That's fun. I would hate that to be my first match ever if I was on Tinder right now, just like swiping and then. But She-Hulk episode 1 was really fun. I really enjoyed Jennifer Walters' vibe. I like the chemistry. I like the themes of how she has to navigate like her emotion in the world, because that's how women just have to be in society, which really sucks. But like that was a really creative way to do that and to separate her from Bruce even more, because Bruce also in the comic books has his own form of DID. Bruce, the Hulk is an alter for him as he was abused as a child. It's a whole mess with Bruce, and that's why that she doesn't have her own alters, because she didn't have that same condition and that same everything with her life. But touching on even more about how there's no one else on the wheel and how her emotion is handled was very well done, I think. A little bit rushed in the beginning, but I love that it's rushed, because it means no more setup going forward. We can just have fun with the rest of the show as its own thing.
Yeah, I think I love the episode overall. I think the only thing I complain about, the final fight felt very weirdly edited. Like it feels like that stuff was cut and they tried to work around it. And I don't know why. Because like when there's a fight earlier on in the episode and it's done well, but then this one, for some reason, it just was like 10 seconds and that was it. It felt very strange. But other than that, I really liked it.
And again, this is no spoilers here at all. If you have not seen She-Hulk, don't worry.
I say yay.
Awesome.
It's hard to have an opinion about these Marvel shows. It'll start off. Actually, no, I do have questions. Questions that made me raise my eyebrow a little bit. I was like, Number one, but Tony Stark built a bar.
Yeah, apparently.
Rewind. It maybe because I really read the comics. Tony Stark is an alcoholic. Why would he build a bar? Whatever. Okay, fine. Maybe it's different universes. That's cool. So you're telling me a spaceship from Sakaar arrived on Earth and Sword didn't do anything about it? No follow-up?
No follow-up?
This whole thing like just popped out of nowhere and Sword?
It'll just be a part of Secret Invasion.
He said it's just a Hulk thing.
It's the Hulk thing. What are you talking about? Like, what is happening? Like, what? Like, okay, whatever, fine. Cool. Also, it just a few questions. Just where are they located? Is this an island that the Hulk owns?
They said it was in Mexico somewhere.
America? It's in Mexico?
Yeah.
The Hulk can fly?
He does this jumpy thing.
No, as in like Hulk Bruce Banner has to get on a plane, fly to this island. Is it first class? Is he in coach? Did he fit on the plane?
This little armband made him fit?
Yeah, actually, there's an armband now, and you can't replicate it.
So
there's a machine.
It was in Shang-Chi. If you look at the scene when he's like in Bruce form, you can actually see it on his arm still. That's a neat little thing. But why can't he make it again?
Why can't you make it again? It could. Okay, all right. So just questions that hopefully will be answered in the future.
They just wanted to give Ruffalo some time out of the mocap suit because he's just like, I've been doing this forever. Can I just get a few scenes out of the suit? But that goes against his character. I don't care.
But you can't have it.
Few questions.
Speaking of Ruffalo, next news piece about the show is a small quote he did saying that there will not be a future Avengers film without She-Hulk. Is what he said. If there will be a Hulk, She-Hulk will be there. I'm like, cool, makes sense. Yay. Other news about DC. Because there's always news about DC. This is positive-ish, maybe, if HBO Max sticks around.
If
the Constantine Show is preparing to begin filming in early 2023, which is it the same guy again, Matt something?
I
don't think
think
so.
I think it's a new thing. I think this is supposed to be like the first actual J.J. Abrams produced project
Right.
for DC that was supposed to happen years ago, and now we're finally seeing it happening.
Well, we did have a little pandemic, making things harder to get to, for one thing. But
yes,
yeah,
but the fact that nothing has come from it still.
I'm giving this a nay. I like Constantine, but I want things to be simple. I want DC to have a simple strategy. Just go through it. Stop it and restart with something simple.
I give it a nay because you took Brendan Fraser away from me in Batgirl.
Cut it. Cut it all. Cut it off. Cut it off like the cancerous tumor it is. I never want to see the DCEU ever again. I hate the Spiderverse. Sorry to all the fans of GeekSpeak.
We have varying degrees of people who love Snyderverse, I think. So it doesn't matter. We've trashed it and we've praised some small aspects of things, just tiny things. But overall, everything's a mess with DC. On to news that's not DC.
Oh boy.
For now, yes. Viola Davis joins the Hunger Games prequel of Songbirds and Snakes as a villain. I've not read the book, but I did read the Hunger Games. And I watched most of ththose movies. I didn't watch Mockingjay Part 2 or 1, I don't think. But I hated the book Mockingjay. So I didn't I can pass for now. But overall, this is exciting. I like Viola Davis a lot.
The cast is enough to get me to go see it. I don't know a single thing about the book. Who knows if I'll read it because I've already got like 50 different books to read, but I'll go see it.
Cut it. Cut it. I'm done. No, I'm not excited for a Hunger Games movie where the Hunger Games message is about how to combat fascism. And you know what? Let's have a prequel series about the fascists itself. And he's cute. And he has a girlfriend who's a person of color who's totally okay with it. What the fuck? What the fuck are we doing? What the fuck? All right, okay.
I didn't know any of that about the story at all. So,
well, it's about President Snow.
That's right.
It's a romance.
A romance. What the fuck? What are we doing here?
Nay. Never mind. Hard nail on this. I just heard Hunger Games prequel. I'm like, okay, sure, maybe a district and stuff. Nope.
Yay for the chaos.
I'm actually my favorite Hunger Games is Catching Fire because I love the games Fire.
Same.
Like, oh shit. Catching Fire fixed every problem I had with the first Hunger Games.
I agree. And then Mockingjay changed things in an interesting way. I had never been more annoyed at someone's inner monologue reading a book. Someone who just hated every single thing she was doing. I'm like, I get it. But can we have a different protagonist then? I want to have someone who's actually engaged in the story a little bit. It was just frustrating to read that a bit.
If anything, I'm happy the Mockingjay movies stopped the like 2-part splitting like final teen dystopian books into 2 parts because that was getting annoying by then.
And then Divergent just never finished.
No, I remember Divergent. It was, going to be 2 parts. And then the first part did so bad. They were like, okay, the second part, we're just going to make it a TV movie. And then they just canceled the TV movie.
Next up is Wizard of Oz news, which is something I don't think I'd ever have to say. Kenya Barris is going to write and direct the reimagining of Wizard of Oz for Warner Brothers. And I don't know. Sure.
I'm just curious, like, because this is like not, just like making a new version of like the Wizard of Oz book. This is remaking, the musical movie from Warner Brothers, which is, kind of a big deal because that's, one of the all-time classics and like did a lot technologically speaking for film and stuff. So I don't know.
He's written
I'm curious.
Shaft and Blackish and Girl Strip and #Black AF.
Are we sure it's the Wizard of Oz and not the Wiz?
No, they said it was the Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz. Yeah, that's why I was wondering too.
No, it's just like, okay, we're gonna get the guy who's known for making black entertainment,
right,
to remake
Wizard of Oz,
and not the Wiz. Probably, I guess the Wiz is probably like the second most best adaptation of that world. But all right, okay.
What do you mean, Oz the Great and Powerful? This is an amazing film.
Underrated.
I haven't seen it in years.
It's bad, but it's charmingly bad. It's not offensive.
I give this an indifferent yay because I am curious That's it. Just curious.
I give it a yay because if it is a remake of The Wizard of Oz, the white people are going to be furious, and that will be chaos.
Any thoughts, Justin?
What could possibly go wrong? What could possibly go wrong?
Only good things will come from this. Nothing bad.
Yeah. We'll just cut it. Like I'm Zaslav.
Well, LEB said last week that they had 3 plans that they could choose from for the Ezra Miller situation. One was having Ezra apologize, go on a tour apologizing pretty much. The option 2 was going to be release the film with no press of Ezra Miller and boost the other members of the cast. Option 3 was just cancel it. I think Justin's in favor of option 3.
Well,
WB chose option 1, it looks like, because Ezra Miller has made a public apology and they're seeking mental health and realize that they've done wrong.
I wanted Ezra to go on like talk shows and explain what happened. That would have been the biggest clusterfuck, but it would have been so funny just to see the firestorm that would have come from it.
It's just dangerous to do that kind of thing.
No. We're not releasing the Reverse Flash on live television. Are you kidding me? We're not doing it. No. Remember that movie, God rest his soul, where Christopher Plummer replaced Kevin Spacey?
Yes.
Christopher Plummer is unfortunately passed.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when they replaced Chris D'Elia with Tig Notaro in Army of the Dead?
Yes.
Yeah. Do that.
You're saying it's impossible? As isn't too much of the movie. Okay, it's been done before, but I understand that's they've already poured so much into this movie, reshooting it and whatever. Reboot it.
I want a Flash movie. I don't want this Flash movie.
Yeah. Do we really need a Flash movie? Cut it. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
10 years from now, start again. That's all I'm saying. Like, take a break and then give me a good Flash movie. It's not. I like DC. I want things to be good and successful and cohesive and make sense.
Until we get a Batmite movie, I say nay.
Batmite. That was the Ezra Miller kerfuffle.
We keep saying no more Ezra news, and every week there's more Ezra news.
I want to be done with Ezra as a person, completely on the whole topic, but WB keeps shoving more Ezra stuff down our throats, and I don't want it. I don't want to keep hearing about it. I'm not a fan. I don't want anyone who attacks people or kidnaps people or anything like that to be the front runner of a movie. So, are you excited for Spiderverse too, both of you?
Indeed.
Apparently, Ben Reilly's Scarlet Spider is going to be in it now. That's fun.
Ooh, I wonder who could. It's just Jake Johnson again.
And the last piece of news I want to talk about is we got a Wednesday Addams trailer as well as pictures from the cast.
Mm-hmm.
That actually really excited me. I love the Addams family. It's when I hear musicals. I love the movie with Christopher Lloyd. I mean, this looks really fun. This looks really a great time to watch. It's Jenna Ortega, right, as Wednesday?
Yep.
And Luis Guzman as Gomez Addams, and he looks fantastic. Morticia, who's playing Morticia? I thought
it's Catherine Zeta-Jones.
That's right. She looks also great as Morticia. This looks fun. The trailer looks really fun. Her being in school is always a fun thing to to play with, and seeing how the Addams interact with the people is always fun. That's why the Addams Family musical is about like her dating someone and bring that family to meet her family, and it's like fun chaos that way. So whenever they meet someone, like that's great. Like someone who on the podcast we had previously, Nikhil Clayton, has a whole series on his TikTok about the Bat family meeting the Addams. And that's always fun to watch too. It's similar fun vibes. I'm excited for this. I'm
happy to see Tim Burton go back to kind of like his dark comedic horror roots. Because lately he's been doing just not amazing stuff like the Dumbo remake. No one remembers that he made that. And it's nice to see him go back to what made him such a great director in the first place.
And it's 8 episodes, right?
Yes.
And then he's directing the first 4 is what I read. Cool. Any thoughts, Justin?
No. I honestly don't really care about the Addams family that much. You know, like it looks like the Addams family It looks like Wednesday.
Yeah, I get that.
You know what I mean? I'm not like, oh, we need more Addams Family content in our lives. I'm
no,
like, all right, looks cool, happy, But like, it seems like a dash of Riverdale, so I'm like, that's everybody these days,
Yeah, my thing with it is they always show consent very well. They always show love very well. Like you can keep updating them and keep contrasting them against whatever time we're in, and it can always be fun to look at. So that's one thing I think they work timelessly. That's one reason I think it worked really well as a timeless group of characters. But yeah, I completely understand. There's more Addams. They look like the Addams Family, so hard to get mad at it. Hard to really praise it too much right now. It's just more of it.
Yep.
And that brings us to The Boys, which is interesting.
I've been telling you to watch the show for years, and you've finally done it.
Who wants to kick this off with? Do you want to talk about a whole, or just season 3, or how do you want to break this? A little bit season 1 first, season 2 first, then jump in?
I guess we can kind of give like our general thoughts on like the first 2 seasons, and then like just really get into the 3rd season because that's the most recent one.
So season 1, episode 1. If you have not watched the show, you can't. It does let you know what kind of show you're gonna get into pretty fast in terms of at least gore.
In terms of pretty much almost everything, isn't really.
Yeah, if you are someone who has avoided The Boys so far and cannot handle some heavier content, maybe don't watch this show. But overall, I really, really enjoyed the strong anti-capitalist themes in the show throughout. And I love this produced by Amazon. It's very ironic to me. Season 1, I was not prepared for the Robin moment. I wasn't ready. I knew she was going to die at some point. I was not prepared for the viscerality.
So you didn't know like that's how it happened?
No.
That's a surprise.
I had seen A-Train memes of that thing before. I didn't know they'd like, okay, hide your girlfriend from A-Train. Like, what's he gonna? I don't know. Is he a bad person?
I mean,
yes, but like, and no, it's all this is a very complicated world. What are your thoughts on overall season 1, Justin?
I think The Boys I don't know. It just seems very. I like it, but then I look at the reaction to The Boys. I'm like, maybe they didn't make it clear enough. Maybe they didn't. Because things that should be clear apparently aren't.
Yeah, I saw the other day someone saying that Homelander deserves to be.
He can be redeemed.
He can be redeemed, and he deserves to be. He deserves to live with his shame and to grow from it, and he deserves to be have a happy ending.
Nah, you missed the entire point.
I also read the other day on Twitter that legitimately someone said Homelander is a better character than Superman is.
Oh, I've seen that constantly.
No irony, and they meant it like not only more interesting, but a more fun character to watch. Like
fun to watch is the concerning part of that statement to me.
More interesting is also concerning. It's all a mess. If you praise Homelander and realize and you don't think of him as the purest of villains, we might get an issue here.
I mean, I think there's a difference between understand why he does what he does, and he's not sympathetic, but I understand why he does the things that he does. Doesn't make him a good person.
No.
It's like someone has like a toxic partner and they're like, no, it's fine, I can change them.
I watched the first episode with my dad.
Oh, that was
mistake number one. Go off, I guess.
Very uncomfortable the entire time. Biggest thing that happened in season 1 of The Boys was Stillwell being taken out. Biggest change from season to season that happens, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And Kimiko becoming a more member of The Boys happens as we go on as well. Ken Fukuhara is fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Without saying any words, she has more of a character than she did in Suicide Squad.
Who also didn't say any words, really.
No, she said some words.
Did she talk at all in Suicide Squad?
Yes, but I think only in Japanese, I think.
Weird.
Yeah. I think that season one of The Boys is a good. If you go from season one episode one of The Boys to like say season three Herogasm, like with the disparity in what you're watching though, like it's an insane amount of things that just have happened to get to this. We have cartoons in The Boys season three. We have a song and dance number. We have very interesting things that happen in this show, and it never feels out of place to me. Like it feels like it's all progressing in a natural-ish way for the show itself, which is shocking to me.
I disagree, but okay.
Okay, go on. I want to hear about this. Go ahead.
It just seems The Boys seems kind of tame to me. I don't know where you guys, because it seems very reserved from season one.
All right.
To be honest with you, because I think I keep running into the problem I keep running into with The Boys, like A-Train running into Robin, is that it wants to go there, but never does. It wants to say the quiet part out loud, but never follows through with it. And it's very annoying. You know what I mean?
I understand that. Like I had seen before online, for instance, the Homelander mowing down a crowd in the 2 scene without the context. And when that happened, like, oh shit, this is gonna happen. And then like, oh, it's in his head. I'm like, I guess it makes more sense for a story because you don't have to deal with the consequences of that. I really wish they were more overt. A lot of people don't get a lot of themes in the show. They just don't get it. They definitely need to be more clear from the beginning of what's happening, I guess. It's still better than the comic.
It is better than I think the perfect example of this is with Blue Hawk.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I was just thinking about it, yeah.
I think it's the perfect microcosm of my problems with the show, which I like the show.
Mm-hmm.
But like the fact like people were like, Blue Hawk at a point. And I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What are we doing here? What the fuck? I mean, as in, okay, you have whose only power is gun. All right, okay. Yep. He gets to be a super. All right. Whatever.
What is Noir's power?
He fights good.
Okay. I was curious.
Yeah, fights good.
I know he was like the Batman surrogate for the 7. That was the idea. It was originally, but I wondered like what he has knives. Because I wonder what the V did to him. Is all I was curious about. Like
he stabs better than most.
Because Kimiko's not just healing; she's also a better fighter, I guess, as well. Like part of her power.
I don't think Kimiko's powers gave her fighting ability, because like
rage, maybe.
And I don't think Kimiko's that like anger. Okay, I think it's just kind of like Wolverine. Like you can just take a machine gun to the chest and keep going, and by the time you get to the guy, you're gonna claw his face off. It doesn't make you a better puncher or a better kicker. I mean, super strength, and it does help with you, but like, you know what I mean?
Right. I understand.
I don't think Kimiko without her powers can take on someone in a boxing match. You know, it's like the ability to take those punches and then deliver is what Kimiko.
Right.
That's just a guess. It's just a theory. You know.
I'm now just thinking of like in season 2, the one guy, I don't remember his name, but he was blind, but he had like really good hearing, and then Homelander, hit his ears, and so did his powers make him blind? So that way his super hearing could work? Is that how it happened for him?
Good question.
The way that view works opens a can of worms for a lot of people. For instance, Huey, when teleporting, I guess season 3 spoiler, sorry. When he teleports, he's able to grab Starlight to teleport her, but he's touching his clothes. So where's the line? Do you know what I'm saying?
It's like with a lot of comic book stuff. When you start like actually like psychoanalyzing, everything, it's just like, okay, well, hold on, how's this working? How's this working? And like, there's a certain point where you should be asking those questions. But for me, things like that doesn't necessarily bother me. Yeah,
I get that. I think so far, season 1 through 3, season 2 is probably my favorite out of them. It's like it had the most of an actual conclusion of things happening as well. They actually got stuff done. They beat up a Nazi. I like when they did that. I think it had a better, like, because right now, season 3, I don't know where it's going to go. I want the show to have a conclusion, personally. I don't know how long can you just not kill Homelander for? That's kind of my thought process with this. How long can you? I guess you never stop capitalism, so never mind.
How do we destroy capitalism?
You never stop Amazon or any of these big companies. I don't know what the conclusion of the show would be, but I don't know what to be dragged out either.
I think the most surprising thing that the boys could do at this point is for the superheroes to actually save somebody. That is the most surprising thing. Like I was sitting there like, hero-gasm. All right, okay.
Yeah, that felt dull to me.
Dull. It's just, yeah, all right.
People kept telling me like hyping up as being like this super graphic thing. I'm like,
well, I mean, most people like that I talked to about it, and the discussion around it was more kind of like the meme of it, superhero orgy essentially, and like we were just like, oh, this is like pure cinema. This is amazing. It's nothing like that complex or that major. It just feels like another part of the boys essentially.
I think season 3 is something I had a problem with season 4 of Stranger Things. It felt like kind of a status quo remaining intact for a lot of things.
What do you mean?
We have Ryan Soldier Boy who could remove people's powers. By the end, he didn't take out Homelander's powers, or most people we need to have powers, or like the enemies by the end, and he was back on ice, ready to be used again. Like he didn't die, he didn't do much at the end. We had, I feel like just
I'd argue that this sets up a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff has changed. I feel like season 2 is the more status quo has stayed the same in terms of endings. Because season 3, you have Homelander can now openly kill people out in public, and people will cheer him on. So now he knows that he can do whatever he wants.
Fuck Todd.
He runs VOD now. What's the senator lady? Forgot her name because I'm terrible with names. She could be running for vice president now, which could also change a lot of things. Butcher, again, spoilers. This has all been spoilers essentially now.
I'll put spoilers.
Butcher's gonna die.
Yeah, Butcher's gonna die. We know that is a fact.
Never mind. You're right. I forgot about that part.
Like there's a lot that is like we have a set path. It's going to be ending soon. Like things have to change. And of course, little Homelander Jr. now is just like, ooh, my dad can kill.
You mean
that's
Brightburn?
Fun.
We have Brightburn. Thinking about what you said about season 2, that's true. It is more status quo, but it had like we got some things done kind of feel.
Mm-hmm.
Like they already had V exposed. They already are starting to get more people taken down. They're starting to rearrange some things with the idea. They had a hand on the wheel. And he was in the CIA. CIA, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Also, why are they just in the Flatiron building? I don't remember how that happened. Okay. I thought there was just a little bit more, not conclusion, but like a bit more of we have a progress shift. Homelander being able to just openly kill people now, and he has no problem with that. That's a problem. It's a big issue. Ryan chose the wrong dad, as I told you the other day. But Butcher was also mean to him. I'm just surprised at what Ryan saw in season 2 with his mom and with what he did, with what happened with Stormfront, with all that, with Homelander, how he acted. I'm surprised. He's like, yeah, Homelander's still cool. A little surprised, but also children are interesting, naive, and I remember being a child and also made a lot of dumb decisions all the time.
Just watch Game of Thrones up to season 4 and you'll understand when you see Joffrey of why Ryan is the way he is.
I'm curious about what you interpreted that smile at the end to mean.
For Ryan?
Ooh.
Yes, because I read it slightly differently.
I don't know.
I don't think Ryan is like, oh, I'm evil now.
I don't think it was that.
I think for once, Ryan felt protected. And that's not a entirely good or bad thing. It's just up until that point, Ryan has been protected from the world and like sheltered from the world. And from Ryan's point of view, someone said, no, that's not okay. And just that is bad. Well, Homelander is bad, but from Ryan's point of view, it's like someone's sticking up for me. Someone's protecting me. I remember that scene where they went to like that Chuck E. Cheese for superhero, and everyone was like, getting in his face and stuff like that. I think that's what it meant. And that is comforting to Ryan. But I do think that there's still hope for him.
I do too. I think the show will end with him being a better person than his dad, than his biological father.
Because I think a lot of the show has been dealing with like the themes of like fatherhood, the passing of trauma and stuff like that, and how greatly it shapes the characters in the show. I think Ryan is going to be like kind of the breaking of that. You look at most of the characters and their relationship with their fathers, very bad, just terrible. And of course, Homelander, not the best of father figures, but I think Ryan is going to be, now that he has powers, so he can actually stand up against him. And I think he's going to end up killing Homelander at the end.
Yeah, season 3 is very much about family. That's what a lot of the core was about. This is your family, and that's kind of the whole thing about it. Like even bring up like word for word pretty much how Soldier Boy wasn't his father. He was not there for him. He was never a part of his life. He was not a dad to him. Good point to touch on. Also, Soldier Boy is terrible. Everyone on the show is so terrible. I just want Huey and Starlight to be safe somewhere else and be fine. I want everyone in this world to be safe, and this is a show that explains why powers are such a dangerous thing in the real world. Like, people like glorify things like Marvel DC a lot of times. Like, cool, I want powers. I don't want to be in that world. I want to be a superhero. Why would you want that? Look how dangerous this is. Look at people. Look what happens to people. Look at Kamiko, what she has to go through. This is not a fun place to be.
It's rough.
It's just, yeah. I find Vought fascinating because as an idea of a capitalized like superhero entity kind of thing. And I think that it unfortunately would be kind of how it would be in real life. We'd have corporations run people with powers because it would be a commodity. It'd be a skill set, which is very fascinating to look at. And I think diving even more into that would be fantastic. They're not going to do it as much as people like the spectacle of the show and the character relationships and don't want to get into the themes of how inherently terrible most of capitalism is, how inherently terrible most of these companies are. Any other major thoughts on the show as a whole right now?
I think no one will kill Homelander. Homelander will kill himself.
Oh,
I don't think the only thing Homelander can be beaten by is probably himself. That's my guess.
They've made it clear that he has no real weakness. That's a good point. He doesn't have a kryptonite we know of.
Yeah, milk. I think that too. But yeah, like that actually does make sense because like especially this season we really see like him, I guess, interacting with like his inner self of just trying to figure out like, like, oh, like you're a terrible person. I'm not terrible. I'm great. And that constant back and forth, we could really start seeing like a split of his mind as it goes on.
Why does MM's ex-wife date Todd in the first place? Why is she still with him?
Because he's the exact opposite of MM.
Yep.
He's the exact opposite.
But I feel like once she knows what Homeland, I don't know. He's good to Janine, and I don't know. It's just it sucks seeing that happen because you want a better life for these characters all the time. The Deep has an interesting life. Terrible person still. And it has no thoughts for himself. Not one.
The Deep is like the one character of the show that I'm like, I have no idea what they're going to do with him next, but I'm excited to see what's going to happen.
I think he's going to die too. I don't think.
Oh, I do too. I don't think anyone is safe in the show.
The most replaceable person is the Deep. No, he has no allies. What is he going to do? He's not going to become part of the boys.
I saw someone also. I saw another unironic recent like Stormfront wasn't that bad. Like wasn't all that bad thing.
She was a literal Nazi.
Yeah, literal Nazi. Not even like
not tiptoeing the line.
Yeah, it's weird. Just and the fact that people still didn't get it. Concerning.
Do you all have a favorite member of the boys?
Ooh.
I think I love Frenchie. And then Frenchie's friendship I love.
I'm gonna say Starlight now.
That's fair. She's
the only good person.
She's the only good superhero to exist.
I think I gotta go with like Frenchie and Kimiko. I love their relationship.
I would really enjoy seeing, like you said earlier, superheroes saving people, but an actual other superhero like team. It's anywhere else in the country doing stuff.
Well, now because like the Seven is basically disbanded at this point because they're either dead or
The
they're
three.
gone.
We are the three. Yeah, who is currently in the Seven?
Homelander, the
Homelander?
Deep, and A-Train still, I guess.
It'll be a whole thing. Like they'll get a whole new
New
cast
lineup.
of people. It'll be like a whole rollout. They'll tweet about it. I think it's gonna happen.
The comics have had many people in the Seven before. I know that. Like A-Train was not their main speedster even. Also, any viewers who are interested, do not read the comic. It's really not worth it. I read, I think, in 1 or 2 issues, I'm done. Not only is the content just not interesting, like the dialogue is horrendous. They treat everything's just treated horribly.
It's interesting hearing you say the dialogue is horrendous because the creator of the comic did an episode of The Boys Diabolical, like in the same style as the comic. And like, I remember it being written like not too bad, but just like hearing the comic is like apparently terribly written, I think it's pretty funny.
I think we've talked a lot about The Boys. I think we have understand the feeling that it's an interesting-ish show.
Is certainly an interesting time to say the least.
I didn't expect to see the Deep fucking an octopus multiple times over. Not that it was even that far of a thing to happen, just didn't expect it to happen.
Oh no, I expected at some point that he was gonna fuck a fish.
And lastly, on our news docket, let me talk to you all about the super weird story. Josh, explain what a super weird story is, if you don't mind.
So I don't read comics and I don't really know much about comics. So this man here explains weird things in comics. So that way it furthers me to not read comics. That's not his intention. That's not his intention at all. But sometimes that's what happens.
I talk about things that are surprising or interesting or problematic or wholesome that happens during comic book and superhero culture to kind of let everyone else gauge the world. And so that superheroes are not all glitz and glamour and they're not all terrible. It's a range of weirdness. And this week we're talking about a character called 3D Man. Not a joke, it's an actual character's name.
Was this a scrapped character from Spy Kids 3D Game Over?
Not quite, but the character was written by Roy Thomas as an homage to Joe Simon and Jack Kirby character of Captain 3D, a different whole thing. It's not a lot of history. It's a Marvel Comics character. He is 2 people. That's I can show you all a picture right now if I copy this image.
Please do. I'm curious. Does he wear 3D glasses?
No.
Well, then what's the point?
Let's send it in. So you want to see if it looks like that's what he looks like.
That is an old
3D
comic.
Man DC.
He's Marvel.
That is old.
Chuck and Hal Chandler, brothers Chuck and Hal Chandler, were born in LA as a test pilot for NASA in 1958. Chuck was piloting the experimental XF-13 rocket plane when he was captured by Skrull invaders. They attempted to interrogate him, but Chuck escaped, damaging the Skrull's warp drive in the process. The Skrull saucer exploded as Chuck flew away, exposing him to strange radiation. He crashed the XF-13 in the Mojave Desert. When his younger, crippled brother Hal attempted to rescue him, Chuck disappeared, believed to have been killed, and Hal, as a research scientist, discovered Chuck's image had been imprinted on the lens of his glasses. So kind of Josh. And that Chuck had been transformed into a 2-dimensional being.
So Flat Stanley.
Kind of, but on his glasses. When Hal wore the glasses and concentrated hard enough, he triggered a dimensional shift that caused Chuck to materialize into a 3-dimensional existence.
So he has to wear the glasses and he has to focus really hard on Chuck in the glasses to make him appear in 3D.
Yes. In his new form, Chuck wore a green and red bodysuit. And his normal strength, speed, and durability had been tripled. As a costumed 3D man, Chuck fought another group of Skrull agents. He battled more Skrull infiltrators and then and then he battled a character called the Cold Warrior. At some point after his 1950s adventures, Hal Chandler decided to stop functioning as 3D man and left his brother floating around in another dimension.
So when he focused on him and brought him into 3D, did he have to keep focusing on him the whole time?
I think so.
Oh my God.
So Hal married in the comic book version of Peggy Clark, and they had 2 children, and Chuck Handler 2, and Hal Chandler Jr. He named his kids by him and his brother. Okay. And they later encountered a down on his luck Bruce Banner, and afraid that the Hulk might show up, used the glasses to summon 3D Man once more. After this encounter, 3D Man returned into his brother's glasses, determined never to return. However, alongside many other costumed heroes, he was summoned briefly by the Grand Master. So
they thought the Hulk was going to attack them, and so their best form of defense was 3D Man.
And then they decided, never again, I'm coming out of these glasses. I'm done.
I think this is a good idea. I don't know why you guys are laughing.
No, I think it's interesting. Idea. It's like, not dumb.
So, like, okay, what if I'm just like a normal teen? I found some glasses and I put them on, and a costume vigilante comes out of me. What the fuck? That's recipe for oh my gosh, like I love it.
I think this would be a very fun like episode of What If, because he also appeared in a What If comic. So in What If number 9, FBI agent Jimmy Woo brought the 3D Man together with several other heroes, including Gorilla Man, Human Robot, Marvel Boy, and Venus, to form the 1950s version of an Avengers team. These heroes battled the Yellow Claw and his superhuman minions, but the team was asked to disband by President Dwight D. Eisenhower. While the events of this story took place on an alternate Earth, as revealed in Avengers Forever, a similar mission involving those characters minus 3D Man did take place in the 1950s in the mainstream continuity, as shown in 2006 miniseries Agents of Atlas. So if they eventually brought Agents of Atlas into the main MCU, they could do a What If version with 3D Man involved. I would like that a lot. It'd be really fun.
What gets me is just, putting on the glasses and having to focus on the person inside the glasses and keep focusing on them.
I think it's keep focusing. Maybe it's just you summon them by focusing and then they come back in.
Okay, I hope that's the case, because just like, having to focus constantly and just be like, okay, how long is this fight gonna take? 2 hours? I can focus.
But after an accident, the research brother found his crippled brother in his glasses, put them on, but how do you recognize him? He's wearing a suit. He's not the same person anymore. Anyway, we realized this character existed a few days ago. I'm like, let's just share about this fun, interesting story of a character. I would definitely enjoy seeing, maybe in one of Marvel's animated things, maybe it's just a fun little thing in the Marvel comics, not comics, in the MCU going forward. We could see I'm trying to think of an example. Like, what if in Guardians 3, he showed up as a space person instead? Interesting. You never know what you can do they adapt characters differently all the time. So I'd be interested to see him pop up.
It'd be fascinating to say the least.
Yeah.
3D Man Disney Plus show.
But more than 6 episodes?
Sure. Actually, no. You don't even have to make a new character for him. All right, Bruno gets the glasses. Yeah, just have Bruno has a pair of glasses. What? And he wants to help out with Kamala. Oh, I have powers too. And like, oh really? Oh yeah, I can fly. Puts on the glasses, and you just have this image of 3D Man invisibly lifting Bruno up. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can you fly any higher? Can I fly higher? No, I'm not that tall.
And only he sees him in this version. That's really fun.
Exactly. Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen, Feige. So that's our podcast for the week. Thank you so much, Justin, for coming on. Where can people find you online?
You can find me wherever toys are sold. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, at FreddiesRoommate.
And Josh, where can people find you online?
You can follow me on Twitter, G_Rudy28, Instagram, J_Rudy16, and YouTube at Josh Rudolph.
And I'm on Twitter at The Theater Nerd, and I'm on Instagram at That Nerd in Theater, and TikTok at That Nerd in Theater. Thank you all so much for listening to this episode. It really means a lot. You also can watch the video version of this on YouTube at GeekSpeak Podcast, and enjoy. And see ya.